Hi students, my name is Amy Powers Johnson. I am a school counselor up at Simley High School and I am the SPARC coordinator. If you're watching this video, you're being asked to help with pilot testing for SPARC. All those messages you see about most students do not vape or most students do not need alcohol to have fun, that is SPARC, and those messages are a very big part of SPARC. Pilot testing is a super important part of the program, and without completing pilot testing, we cannot print or use any materials for SPARC. So it's really important, if you are helping with pilot testing, that you understand a little bit more about it. SPARC and all the most messages you see is a big advertisement, and we are advertising health and positivity. Although it is alcohol, vaping, marijuana prevention, we do it in a positive way. We do it by using what we call a most message and by using positive photos and images. If you look at the three images on the screen, you might find it hard to believe that all three of the photos were used as an advertisement for not drinking. Two of them actually make it look like a lot of fun. In the past, we thought the words below the picture were super important. But what we found was that the image can stick with people even longer than the words. So even if the words on the advertisement talk about all the dangers of binge drinking, the image of people having fun was what people remembered from these ads. This is why the picture on the right is the type of picture that we have learned to use to advertise things like not drinking. Showing people having fun without it is the image and message that sticks with people. This is what SPARC is all about and exactly why we need your help. Most messages come from the data that you gave us. So when we say that 94% of middle school students would rather not vape when hanging out with friends, this is the true amount told to us by you. And if you think about it, even the data is off by a bit, it is still a super good number and it is definitely still most students. Sometimes our messages are focused on parents, sometimes on teachers, but mostly on students. Most of the pilot testing we will be asking you your input on will be the design of posters. And we need you to know that the main thing you see on the poster has to be the most message or the data. Some students are giving low scores because they give us feedback saying that the most messages are too big or they don't want the most message on it. The most message is the most important part of the advertisement, and without a data message, we cannot print or make anything. Whether it is a chip clip, a poster, a pen, or a t-shirt, the most message has to be the focus. Actually, the parent handout on this slide was not approved because the most message section was not the focus. The biggest font was the parent and guardian section. So we had to actually redesign this handout and make the data section bigger so that it was the focus before we could pilot test this one. You will always be asked if you want to see the poster with most students or with the actual percent. For example, if we have 97% of students who do not want to use marijuana when hanging out with friends, that is an amazingly high number, and seeing 97% is an impactful number. So this would be a time when seeing the percent probably looks best. But if it's a bit lower number, like 81%, it's still a great number, but maybe you will think that most would look better than seeing an 84 in the poster. And that is something that you will decide on each of the pilot tests. Let's talk about the photos for our posters a bit. The photo is a really big deal. The type of photo we use will always be a positive image. Our posters are selling positivity and happy, healthy students. So we will use students being positive, happy, and healthy, or fun, bright, or even some silly images. If you want to sell burgers, which one would be a good photo to use and which one would be a bad photo to use? I am guessing most of us agree that the green one does not make you really want to eat hamburgers. But actually, this moldy burger was used in a Burger King ad a few years ago. They were trying to advertise that they only use fresh ingredients and that they do not have chemicals or preservatives in it. So they thought it would be a good idea to show how few preservatives were in it by showing that it rots and gets moldy really fast. This ad backfired big time for Burger King, and they lost the most business that year than any other burger company. One additional rule with the photos is that we cannot use photos of our own students. We are finding a lot of students have been giving low scores and negative feedback because they want the photos to be of our own students, but the photos can't be. So we need to make sure you know that the photos cannot be of our own students, that low scores are not given for that reasons. Photos and the theme of photos are not always going to be Spartan themed. A lot of negative comments about the photos not being school colors or not be Spartan themed has given us really low scores and not allowed us to use some of the posters. We may do Spartan colors or Spartan theme at times, but the posters are supposed to be all different kinds of things and not just red and blue or Spartan themed. One other quick thing is that we have to have this funded line on almost everything we create. So we've gotten some feedback and some really negative scores because students say they don't want to see the funding line on it, but we have no choice, so we have to have it on there. We just want to point that out so no more low scores are given because this funding line is on there. The actual pilot test survey has two parts on it: pilot testing questions and a rating scale. Let's look at the questions first. On every pilot test survey, you will be asked the same basic questions. What message do you get from this? What do you like about the poster? What do you not like about the poster? Which one do you like best? And would you wear or use this item? First, what message do you get from the poster? This is the most important question. Because the most message is supposed to be the focus of the poster, that is the message we hope you are getting from that poster. The message you get from the poster should be the most message we are advertising. This shouldn't be a complicated question to answer, but we are getting some really strange responses to this question. The message you should get should be the most message that is on that poster. What do you like best about this poster and what do you not like about this poster is another question. We only want helpful feedback. Sometimes students just look for something negative to say because they feel they have to answer that question. You do not have to find something you do not like about the poster. If we had 100 students say they do not like the girl in the hot pink jacket because she is picking her nose in the photo, we would realize we missed something, which is exactly why we do pilot testing. Pilot testing is just to make sure we did not miss something. She's actually not picking her nose in the photo. Which one do you like best is going to be another question. We will always pilot test more than one poster or more than one chip clip, for example, when we are doing a pilot test. Though it's not a contest between the two things, between the two posters, you will be asked which one you like better. You can like them both, and that is actually our goal. But if one is overwhelmingly liked over the other, this will help us make a decision. The last thing to talk about is the scoring, because the scoring has been a bit of a problem, and it's understandable because it's never really been explained before. The survey will have some questions about how the poster looks that you will need to score from a 1 to a 5. It's really hard to make these posters unbelievably amazing and awesome and like the coolest thing you've ever seen. So we need to break down the scores from a 1 to 5 a bit. A score of 1 to 2 should only be used when something is wrong or offensive. Let me say that again. A score of a 1 or 2 should only be if something is wrong or offensive. 4s and 5s should be if the poster is good or if you do not see anything wrong that we have missed. A moldy burger or a girl picking her nose would be a 1. Nothing wrong with the photo should be a 4 or a 5. In the upcoming weeks, we will have quite a few things coming your way to pilot test, and we really appreciate you helping out. Once we pilot test more fun items like pens and pencils and t-shirts and those kinds of things, we will send them to your advisors as a thank you. Thank you for helping with this. You play a very important role in the pilot testing for SPARC. Thank you.